Across nearly 10,000 kilometers stretches the world's longest railway, the backbone of an empire, transforming trade, military power, and the lives of millions across Russia. Its construction crossed frozen wilderness, endless forests, towering mountains, mighty rivers, and some of Earth's harshest climates.
Thousands of engineers, laborers, soldiers, and prisoners devoted years of their lives to building this incredible railway.
But before the first rail was laid, Russia faced an enormous challenge, unlike anything in its history. By the 19th century, the Russian Empire stretched across Europe and Asia, becoming the largest nation on Earth. Yet Siberia remained isolated. Distance, harsh weather, and poor roads made travel painfully slow. A journey from Moscow to the Pacific coast could take many exhausting months. Communication was equally difficult, making military defense and economic development nearly impossible. Meanwhile, railways across Europe were fueling industry, commerce, and unprecedented economic growth. Russian leaders feared they might lose control over their vast eastern territories if nothing changed. An extraordinary idea emerged: a railway connecting Europe with the Pacific Ocean across one continuous route. Many believed the dream was impossible. The distance alone seemed beyond human imagination. Builders would have to cross frozen ground, enormous rivers, dense forests, and unforgiving wilderness. During the late 1880s, survey teams explored thousands of kilometers to determine the safest railway route.
We need to span the narrowest point here, just past the rapids.
The topography on the south bank is more stable for the foundation.
Agreed, the measurements align with the survey data.
Finally, Emperor Alexander III approved one of the greatest engineering projects ever attempted.
The announcement inspired excitement throughout Russia and marked the birth of a historic railway.
Construction officially began in 1891, with teams working from both the western and eastern ends. Thousands of workers entered Siberia, carrying rails, timber, tools, and determination into the unknown.
What began as an ambitious dream would soon become the longest continuous railway ever built.
In the next chapter, the true battle begins as engineers confront Siberia's unforgiving wilderness to build a railway for history. In 1891, construction officially began. Thousands of workers marched into the Siberian wilderness.
According to the map update, Section 4 is clear.
Yes, I see the green light. The survey confirms the path is stable.
The western section advanced eastward from Chelyabinsk, while eastern crews pushed inland from Vladivostok. Every kilometer demanded extraordinary effort. Dense forests first had to be cleared before a single rail could be laid. Without modern machinery, most of the work depended entirely on human muscle, horses, and simple tools. Winter quickly became their greatest enemy. Temperatures often plunged below -40 degrees Celsius. The frozen earth was as hard as stone, forcing crews to dig through permafrost one exhausting strike at a time.
Together now, pull! Watch the rope! 1, 2, pull!
Heavy rains washed away freshly built embankments, forcing crews to rebuild sections again and again.
The railway crossed countless rivers, each demanding strong bridges capable of surviving Siberia's brutal seasons. Some bridges stretched hundreds of meters, becoming engineering masterpieces of their time. Millions of wooden sleepers were cut from Siberia's vast forests to support the growing railway. Steel rails arrived from factories across European Russia, traveling thousands of kilometers before reaching construction sites.
Push harder, we're almost there. Steady now.
All right, bring the shovels here. We need these provisions unloaded quickly.
Disease, accidents, hunger, and exhaustion claimed many lives during the massive construction effort.
Despite unimaginable hardship, construction never truly stopped. Every completed kilometer brought the dream closer.
Entire towns began appearing beside the railway, bringing settlers, merchants, and new opportunities into Siberia.
The railway was no longer simply a transportation project. It was creating an entirely new frontier. As construction advanced eastward, another enormous obstacle awaited the engineers: Lake Baikal. The world's deepest freshwater lake blocked the railway's path with nearly impossible terrain. Building around Lake Baikal would become one of the greatest engineering challenges of the entire project. For a time, even giant ice-breaking ferries became part of the railway itself. In the next chapter, the Trans-Siberian Railway faces its greatest obstacle yet, conquering Lake Baikal and completing the final link across Russia.
By the late 1890s, construction reached the shores of the magnificent Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake on Earth, and
stretching more than 600 kilometers in length, Lake Baikal blocked the railway's direct path to eastern Siberia.
If we blast here, the trajectory should clear the lower access road.
What about the tremor impact on the northern ridge? The survey data looked borderline. Until the shoreline railway could be completed, an extraordinary temporary solution kept construction moving forward.
Specially built ice-breaking ferries carried entire railway carriages across Lake Baikal during the warmer months.
During winter, when the lake froze solid, temporary railway tracks were laid directly across the thick ice. Although dangerous, this frozen route allowed vital supplies and passengers to continue their journey. Meanwhile, thousands of workers battled towering cliffs to build the permanent Circumbaikal Railway.
More than 30 tunnels were carved through solid rock, using dynamite, hammers, and relentless determination.
Massive stone retaining walls protected the railway from landslides and falling rocks.
The Circumbaikal section soon became known as the Golden Buckle of the Trans-Siberian Railway because of its remarkable engineering.
By the early 20th century, the railway stretched farther east than anyone had once believed possible.
But another international challenge remained. The shortest route crossed the territory of northeastern China.
Russia negotiated permission to construct the Chinese Eastern Railway through Manchuria, creating a faster connection to Vladivostok.
The new route dramatically reduced travel time and strengthened Russia's influence across East Asia.
New towns, industries, and trading centers rapidly appeared wherever the railway reached.
The railway became the lifeline of Siberia, connecting remote communities with the rest of the Russian Empire.
However, political tensions in East Asia were rising rapidly, threatening Russia's expanding railway network.
In 1904, the Russo-Japanese War tested the unfinished railway under the pressures of modern warfare.
The single-track railway struggled to move troops and supplies fast enough across the immense continent.
The conflict exposed weaknesses that convinced Russian leaders the railway needed further expansion and modernization.
Lessons from the war accelerated improvements that would shape the railway for generations to come.
In the final chapter, discover how the Trans-Siberian Railway survived revolution, world wars, the Soviet. By the early 20th century, the Trans-Siberian Railway had become the backbone of the Russian Empire, but an era of revolution was about to test its strength. In 1917, the Russian Revolution erupted, bringing the empire to an end and plunging the nation into civil war. Both the Red Army and the White Army fought fiercely to capture key railway stations and junctions. During the Russian Civil War, control of the railway meant control of supplies, communication, and military movement across the continent.
Despite years of conflict, the railway survived and became essential to the newly formed Soviet Union.
The Soviet government expanded industries across Siberia, relying heavily on the railway to transport workers and resources. Coal, iron, timber, oil, and machinery traveled thousands of kilometers, fueling rapid industrial growth. When World War II began, the railway once again became one of Russia's most valuable strategic assets. Millions of soldiers, civilians, and vital supplies were transported across the Soviet Union using the Trans-Siberian Railway. Entire factories were dismantled in Western Russia and rebuilt beyond the Ural Mountains, transported almost entirely by rail. This extraordinary relocation helped preserve Soviet industry and played a significant role in the Allied victory.
After the war, modernization became the railway's next great mission.
Steam locomotives gradually gave way to powerful diesel and electric trains, capable of hauling heavier loads.
Large sections of the railway were electrified, increasing speed, efficiency, and reliability across vast distances. Today, the Trans-Siberian Railway stretches approximately 9,289 kilometers from Moscow to Vladivostok. The complete journey crosses 8 time zones and usually takes about 7 days without extended stops. Along the route, passengers experience forests, rivers, mountains, grasslands, and countless historic cities.
We made it! Look how beautiful the train is! The journey is going to be amazing.
More than a railway, it remains a symbol of determination, endurance, and humanity's ability to overcome impossible distances. For more than a century, these rails have connected cultures, transported dreams, and shaped the destiny of an entire nation. The story of the Trans-Siberian Railway is ultimately the story of human ambition, conquering nature through vision. Even today, every passing train carries the legacy of the countless people who built this extraordinary route across the world's largest nation. From imperial dreams to modern engineering, the Trans-Siberian Railway remains one of the greatest achievements